Welcome back. Another video. Obviously getting on with a bit more of another project. As the title will say, we're on with Kurt's Polo K24 build. Today we're going to try and just put the engine in the hole to see if it fits. Looking with a tape measure, the physical length of the actual engine is near enough the same. It's obviously four cylinder, they're near enough the same, most are. But the issue we're seeing is the gearbox. The gearbox on the Honda engine is quite a large bell housing. The gearbox on the old 1.4 16 valve is quite a small bell housing. Tape measures are not, it looks close. Let's just say I think I'm going to have to cut more than I expected. But I don't know. I'd never measured over the tape measure. That's Kurt's fault. But, you've got to get on with what you've got. Nothing an angle grinder can't cut out. Nothing we can't re-weld back in. So that's the plan at the moment. As you can hear, it's absolutely bouncing down. The weather's horrendous. So I thought, I'm not going nowhere. It's a weekend. It's Sunday. And this is the reason why I love this workshop at home. Not really going to go out because the weather's bad. I'm a bit bored with, watching stuff on TV. I can get out and enjoy doing something, learning, progressing, and basically, doing something different. So, I don't know if it's going to fit. If I'm totally honest, I don't think it's going to fit. So, let's have a bit of a tidy up in the workshop, and let's get this K24 under the car, and let's lower it down to see where it's more like, see where it's going to hit, not where it's going to clear, because it is going to hit everything. So let's see how we get around this one. Let's see how we get on. So this is where we're up to with the Polo. Engine's obviously out. It's over there. Engine's out. Engine bay stripped. Now what I'm thinking is, I didn't realise these two mounts which hold the subframe stick out as far. Because I think if we lose them, it would probably clear. But I'm still concerned about this side and the size of the gearbox. So I think I'm going to have to notch all this. Again, I don't know till I get it in the engine bay. I have no idea. So I've got my K24, which is going in the smart car, because Kurt's not stripped his Accord yet. So we're going to drag that out, stick it under, and weigh up the job. And then, once we kind of know where I'm up to, I can use my engine as a mock-up while Kurt strips his. And then we can get it in the engine bay and, again, start cutting. So let's see how much we've got to cut. Let's see what it catches. And I'll document the full journey. So following on from the previous video, where we weighed the 1.4 which has come out, which was 145 kilograms, we're now going to weigh the K24 before we see how bad this thing doesn't fit in this engine bay. So let's see, I'm guessing 165.
It's got to be there or thereabouts, hasn't it?
There you
It's
reckon?
got power steering pump on it. It's got gear
A few
oil.
extras.
The other one never had gear oil.
The thing for me is, looking at this engine compared to the other one, the gearbox is massively bigger. So that's going to be at least a 20 kg. And then a few odds and ends. So we're under 45, 160. I would say, yeah, about 165. So let's have a look. So the scales on. Let's have a laugh how heavy this is. I still think it'll be quite light.
Sounds lost, isn't it?
Yeah. That's off the ground now.
What do you say?
165.
A lot more than that.
Is it?
205.
So, K24 with box, all the
Auxiliaries.
pumps, auxiliaries, and oil still in the box and the engine. 206 kg. So what's that? That's 55 kg more than your 1.4. But 300 horsepower, normal aspirated.
Twice the power.
Yeah, it's twice the power, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting on the least. So, let's lift the car up, let's get the engine underneath, let's get the subframe off, and let's see how much of an angle grinder I'm going to have to cut. I'm going to have to use cutting this thing to death. Let's start the time lapse. it's not the right way. We just seem to be winging this as we go because we don't know what, technically we don't know if it's going to fit. But we've literally plonked, and I mean plonked, in the engine bay. And it's not as bad as I thought because we've not fully got under that chassis leg yet. And it looks like it'll go down there if it just missed that. So I think now the plan is to lift the car and do it from underneath. But I think it's going to just about fit between the chassis legs with minimal cutting. So what was, we thought was going to be a bit of a bad job could possibly, not counting me chickens just yet, but I think it could fit. And we've got a name for the car because the saying is, it fits like a glove on a chicken's beak. So we're going to call the car the Chicken's Beak. So this is what we're seeing. We're lifting it up. This side isn't too bad because by the time we've lifted it, shoved it over probably ½ inch and mounted this to there somehow, because that's where one of the mounts is, that side's not really that bad and I'm not really overly concerned. I think the front subframe attachment here might need adapting, but I'm not fussed about that because we've got a reference point underneath. We can deal with that. The engine can needs to sit there because, I don't know if you can see, shaft angles, as I've spoke to you about with the Movano build. So that's not too bad. But then if you go around the other side, absolute does not fit at all. And what I'm seeing is the box is that big, it's catching this area, which all this is basically the mount for the subframe. So at the back, it doesn't look that bad. I think a bit of, shimmying over and a bit past this point, it'll fit. It's more just this area which needs addressing. So I think we're going to have to cut this off, and then I think we're going to have to trim the underside of this chassis leg just to get it up, to get it level. But I think it will go in. And if I'm honest, I don't think it's as bad as what I thought. I thought it was going to be a lot more cutting. If it's just this area, then I think we swamped channel with this. So I'm reasonably happy. I wouldn't say, overly happy, but we're getting it in there. So we're going to get the grinder out and just see how far we cut in to get it into, into level where things should sit. And then we'll start adding metal to make it solid again. Right, so it's not mounted, but we managed to get the engine crane out because it's sat on this mount here, which is a good thing really because factory mount is here anyway, so I can tie it into this chassis leg. That's no issue. As you can see, I've cut all this away. I can rebox that, but that's just to get clearance. It does clear now in that hole, just enough. Well, this is going to be a bit of a ball ache because the mount is underneath, but we can sort it out. It's very close at the back, but I think that's kind of where it's going to sit because, as I said with the Movano, it all goes off shaft angles. And looking at the shaft angles, if you can just see that, it is literally bang on, if you look, just there, bang on in the middle of the hub, which is, to be fair, is perfect. Same with the other side. So it's going to be literally get some mounts made up, try and get this a bit more level, and then workers start fabbing around it. But we've got it in the hole, we've got it in the engine bay. So yeah, well, he's now just sticking bits of metal together to make it fit in there. So we're all good. So yeah, let's plod on for another probably half an hour and see where we end up. So that's us calling it a night. It doesn't fit, but it does fit. It's in the hole, it's in the gap, which is basically the major star. It needed to sit between the two chassis rails, which a bit chopping out one side to get the gearbox in place, not over massively, but we've cut enough away and it seems to go in. There's still a bit of trimming. We've still got to lift it up a little bit, but that'll come in time. So we're on this journey now. There's no going back because we've cut all the suspension parts off. Unfortunately, you saw me build the subframe for it. That's technically got to go in the bin now because it doesn't fit no more. But hey, as I always say on this channel, it's 2 steps forwards and 1 step back, but we're always moving forward. This should be like, you know, quite a nice, interesting car, as I said. We're looking at 300 horsepower normal aspirated, 700 kg, 650 kg car. Should be quite an interesting little build. So for the journey, I don't know what the next video is going to be or when the next video is going to come on this, but we're going to be kind of ploughing through it because it is in the workshop and it is kind of in the way of any other production. So I need to crack on with it quite rapidly. So the plan's going to be get it mounted in the hole, make the drive shafts, and then I can move it down to Kurt's unit and he can get on with plumbing and wiring himself and we can start getting it finished off. So just to let you know where to live, that there is 9:30 at night. And I live literally at the side of a massive long half-mile arrow straight road and a big like nature reserve. And I have motocross bikes flying around constantly near enough 24 hours a day. So it can get a bit annoying, but that's what that is. So as I say guys, thanks for watching. For this journey, it's going to be an absolute pig, but we'll get there in the end. Take care guys.